You're listening to the Staging Sips podcast with Lori Fisher. This podcast is dedicated to helping real estate staging CEOs build healthy businesses that grow, flow, and thrive. Well, hey there, everybody. Welcome to this very first super exciting episode of the podcast. I am so happy to be here with you. Like, you have no idea. This podcast has been a glimmer in my eye for 2 years. And I finally got myself organized, did some deep thought work on what was preventing me from moving forward, and finally broke through. And here we are. And I am so excited to finally have this first episode under our belts. I really decided that I wanted to do a podcast, first of all, because I noticed how much learning I had through podcasts and how effective they were for me as a learning tool. And I wanted to do that to support my fellow staging business owners. As a staging business owner myself for over a decade, I've learned a thing or two, and I just want to pay it forward to our industry so that we can all up-level our game, all up-level our business skill sets and help us achieve the results that we want to achieve in our businesses, right? We're all doing this business to, get to a certain goal, and I want to be a part of helping you do that. So as we go along throughout the podcast episodes, I'll share more about myself and my business. So you get to know me and you get to know my thoughts on running a staging business, the mistakes I've made, because I'll tell you there's a bunch. And so that you can avoid them altogether. You can literally avoid every single one of the mistakes I've made. I'll share the things that have worked and the actions I took to achieve them so that you can follow those steps too, right? So I'm kind of leading you along so that you can kind of see the moguls and the pitfalls and, the depths of despair ahead so that you can just kind of walk your way right around them. So I'm also going to share in this episode today a little bit about what I think the purpose of this podcast will be. And I'm going to share a lesson with you about taking action and how you can do that more effectively in your business. But first of all, before we dive into all of that, I just want to take a moment and honor you as a staging business owner, or whether you're, newly in or you are down the road a little bit. I just want to honor the fact that you're like flipping incredible. You are amazing. What you do for people through your gift of being able to make a space look beautiful is one of the highest callings, I believe, that you can do. You can share your gifts to help people literally and figuratively move forward with their lives. And that is amazing. And you are creating something from scratch, from nothing. You are creating the momentum. You are creating the infrastructure. That is something that a lot of people would never have the courage to do. So I just want to honor that. And I want you to think about that, because so often we use our businesses against us to beat ourselves up that we didn't achieve the goal. And we forget that what we are doing is very remarkable. So first off, the podcast is all about being your cheer squad when you can't be. I want this podcast to be a place that is here to share not only, actionable steps and strategies and all of that and mindset, because you do take yourself with you. So we've really got to manage your brain as you go through your journey. But I want it to be a fun place for you to come, when you're doing the dishes, driving to an appointment, going for a walk, getting ready for your day, because we don't tend to share a lot of our business lives with others outside of other entrepreneurs, and it can feel very isolating. So I want this to be a place that you just come to that feels really good, feels like a cozy, yummy sweater and blanket, and you can curl up in it. So anyway, I look forward to sharing this journey with you. So today I want to dive in, as I said, to actions and taking actions and what gets us results in our business and what doesn't. So our business results are the accumulation of all of our daily, weekly, monthly actions and decisions, right? Makes total sense. But I am sure at some point in your business, you had a specific goal that you wanted to achieve, and you knew that taking a specific set of actions or just a specific action was the path to getting you that goal, right? Whether it was growing your staging business, operating more efficiently or profitably, but you just don't do it. You just don't do it. We find ways to hide by doing things that don't get us to our goal. We don't go to the networking events. We don't spend time developing our speaking opportunities. We don't show up on social media. We don't send emails to follow up with people. We don't set up systems because we feel like we don't know how or we don't have time. And I'm sure that can be confusing to you. I know in my own business that I have found, when I find myself procrastinating or deciding to take on tasks that I know somebody else would be better doing, I always wonder, like, what's up with that? What's going on? Why am I not doing the things that will actually help me achieve the goal that I want? It's very confusing to be in that spot. But here's the thing. We have to take a step back when we find ourselves undermining our goal. We need to understand, we need to take a minute to learn and notice and become aware of what drives our actions and our decisions that either bring us closer to our desired results or take us away from our desired results. And that's really where this tool that I created comes in, and it's called the Result Triad. I created the Results Triad in order to evaluate my own business results because I was noticing how often I was undermining myself and my own goals. And I took a lot of the learning that I had from business coaches and just people that inspired me to kind of break it down for myself in a really easy kind of assessment tool is really what it is. So if I'm not hitting my result, it's a way for me to assess what is the issue. So having my first business coach, Fabienne Fredrickson, talk so much about mindset, as well as my current one, Toby Fairley, and then learning from people like Stacey Bayman, Brooke Castillo, I kind of took all of what I learned to create the Results Triad, and it's based on three things. Your results are based on your knowledge, your beliefs, and your actions. And I want to dive into each of those a little bit so that you can understand what I mean by them and how they all play together to get you to the result that you want. So knowledge, of course, is all of the how-to strategy kind of stuff. That's the stuff that all of us think we actually need, right? It's important. Knowledge is important because as many of us are just doing many of our business building activities for the first time, we need a fund of knowledge for that, right? And knowledge is very important to clearing blocks, improving clarity and understanding, and it can be a huge catalyst to making things happen in your business. But not always. This is the thing that I found so fascinating was that when I first started with my business coach, Fabienne, I really thought I would be getting all kinds of how-tos, and we certainly did. But we got a ton of mindset stuff because knowledge alone is not super helpful if your beliefs are out of alignment with your goal. And so what do I mean by that? So let's use an example of learning how to play an instrument. So your desired goal is you want to learn how to play an instrument. So imagine this. You want to learn how to play an instrument, but your brain repeatedly tells you that you aren't good at it because, you're just learning and you're not familiar or comfortable and your fingers don't operate the way they're supposed to. So your brain keeps telling you you're not good at it. What's the point anyway? Like, why did you even want to learn this in the first place? Like, it's not like you're going to go play, concerts for people. But at a certain point, you did want to learn how to play an instrument. You did have that goal in mind, but your brain is kind of sending you these competing messages. Maybe your brain's telling you that practice is too hard or it's boring or you don't actually have time. Geez, I didn't realize I don't even have time to practice this instrument that I really wanted to learn. So what do you think is the result of you and your brain telling you all of that? Most likely you're not going to learn how to play that instrument. You're going to justify 1,000 ways to Sunday why you aren't playing the instrument or why you aren't practicing in order to learn the instrument and why it was a silly goal in the first place. This is because beliefs are the bridge between knowledge and action. And as we said, it's those action steps that get you to the result. But without beliefs kind of in the middle of knowing what you have to do, they're not going to happen. And this is not your fault. Your brain, specifically your primitive brain, desires to keep you feeling safe. In fact, that's its whole function, right? It's to keep you comfortable. So it will create beliefs that help you do that. Beliefs like, I don't know what to say. I don't know who to talk to. I'm not good at this. I don't know how to do this. What if this upsets someone? And on and on and on. I'm sure you can think of 1,000 ways that your brain sends you messages to keep you safe. I know when I work out and it's really hard, I think to myself, who needs to work out this hard anyway? This seems ridiculous. This is a waste of time. I'm, 52 years old and this is ridiculous for somebody at my age to be doing this. On and on and on and on. I want the result of being fit and healthy, but my brain is going to serve up all kinds of reasons in the discomfort in the moment of working out that completely wants to derail me and make me quit. 10 minutes, you're breathing hard. You can be done even though there's another 40 minutes left, that kind of thing. So beliefs like that come up so that you don't take action or so that you don't take the right action. And I had no idea, as I said, how critically important it was to understand this when it came to growing my own business. And when I went to that first Fabienne Fredrickson meeting, we had in-person meetings 4 times a year when I spent a lot of money for coaching with Fabienne. And I showed up to the first meeting and it was all about mindset. I felt like I was duped and I wanted to leave and I was really furious and I felt irresponsible because I thought this is ridiculous. As I said, I came to get practical, actionable strategies. And like I said, what I didn't realize was that the action, in the direction towards your goal can only come when you've got your beliefs aligned. And you need your beliefs aligned in yourself and the belief that learning and trying and experimenting and failing and discomfort are all part of your business growth journey. Right? So think about this. I was thinking back as I was outlining the content for this podcast. I was thinking about when I was a young person and I headed off to graduate school in Washington, D.C. And it was my first time heading into the adult world, knowing that I was responsible for all of my bills and all of my life. That was the deal that was made with my family. So I moved to Washington, D.C., and I was literally physically sick every day for at least the first 6 weeks that I lived there because I had no idea how I was going to pay rent, pay for my car, pay for graduate school, all of the things that needed to happen. I didn't know my way around anywhere. I had to figure all of that out. Like it was just very, very overwhelming. But I knew that I wanted to get that graduate degree. And I knew that I needed to do that by living on my own and doing my own thing. And I figured it out. And when I look back now, I think, oh my goodness, like I could have decided it was too much for me to take and just moved home and, just gotten a job and gotten on with life, and gone back to the comfort. But I got through that. And these journeys in business are just like that. If you look back on life, you'll see the exact same experiences. And they happen in business too. So I tell you this as a way for you to start noticing when your brain is trying to keep you comfortable and just normalize that you're going to have times in your business when you experience discomfort, when your brain is going to do everything in its power up to and including making you physically sick to keep you safe. I've had that experience in business as well, where I physically will get, headaches and all of that because it's just trying to keep me from doing what action steps I actually need to take to get to a big, bodacious goal that I have. So your brain is simply doing its job. At least your primitive brain is simply doing its job. So we have to kind of forgive it a little bit. The cool thing is, as humans, we have an advanced brain, our prefrontal cortex, that can help you navigate those beliefs with compassion and curiosity. So as you begin to notice that your primitive brain serves up unintentional thoughts, you can examine them and just notice them. Be like, oh, isn't that funny? I know that I want to, be on social media, but my brain is telling me I have no idea what to write, or what if this is controversial, or whatever. Or you want to raise your price and your brain is like, but those people might be mad, or they're not going to hire you anymore. This is where you just want to notice what's coming up for you. And this is where journaling and keeping a record of what comes up is really important. you actually want to document your thoughts. I'm not sure why putting it out on paper and seeing it is so important, but it is a critical step when you start to experience the noticing of these thoughts that are undermining you. Because once you get them down on paper, you can actually look at them and start to unpack them and really question those beliefs. The other day, I was meeting with a fellow business owner, and we were talking about how she feels like she doesn't want to be a pushy salesperson in order to get her to her goals. And I simply said to her, I said, that's interesting that you think that, your brain is telling you that the only way to be successful is pushy. And she had never made that correlation. And what we decided was she should go and look for all of the evidence of people who are successful who she doesn't think, is a pushy salesperson, so that her brain could have proof that you can both be successful and not be pushy. But we wrote it down. We actually wrote that down. So when these thoughts come up in the beginning, you just want to thank your brain, and you want to let it know that you're going to help it see new possibilities and create new and better thoughts to think. And this is going to be the way you start to achieve bigger things in your business, because in acknowledging that your brain is working to keep you comfortable, but you're going to choose a new intentional thought that gets you to the result that you want, you will then begin to push through and take action. And this podcast is an exact result of me assessing what was happening for me with the Results Triad. I knew that I had the knowledge, maybe not the exact knowledge, to do a podcast. And I know I'm going to learn so much along this journey, but I needed to evaluate why I wasn't taking that knowledge and turning it into action to get it done. And what it was an interesting belief sitting below, which was, I don't actually know how to do this. I don't know how to start it. I don't have time. I feel more comfortable blogging because that's what I've been doing. All of these thoughts were coming up. And when I started to write them out, I realized every single one of them was BS. Like ridiculous. I just need to start. And this podcast, this first one, isn't going to be my best. And I'm going to learn along the way, and we're going to learn together. So I want you to think about this Results Triad when you are assessing if you are achieving what you want to achieve or not achieving what you want in your business. Is it an issue of you need to go get some more knowledge? Or do you actually have the knowledge and your beliefs are not in alignment with you taking an inspired action, an aligned action to your goal? Okay. So I will see you next podcast. And I want to thank you so much for being here on this one. Have a great day. Bye. Thank you so much for listening to the Staging Sips podcast. If you love what you've learned here today and you want to learn more about how to market and grow your staging business more strategically, I would love to see you join us inside of the Rethink You mentorship program. If you want more details and get on our waiting list, you can go to rethinkhomeinteriors.com/waitlist. Looking forward to seeing you in the classroom.